Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a tutorial on how I cream, contour, and highlight my face. I realized that I actually don't have a dedicated video strictly for contouring, and I figured that I was very overdue for one. I get so many questions all the time from family members, my sister specifically, and from my coworkers on how to contour, what products I use, and I figured I would make a video for you guys showing you everything I use and step-by-step details of how I do everything, using cream products and how I set everything and how I highlight as well. So if you guys are interested in seeing that, then just keep watching. I'm starting off with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I love this concealer because it's full coverage, but it doesn't cake up or crease under the eye like most concealers typically do. So because we're using this to highlight, you want to make sure that you go a few shades lighter than your foundation because you want to highlight, brighten up, and bring light to the high points of your face. So I'm placing this under my eyes, down the bridge of my nose, the center of my forehead, and on my chin. Then I went back in and applied more product to the sides of my nose because this is going to give the illusion of a slimmer nose. To contour, I'm using this Ulta Cream Contour Kit, which is only $18, and the only thing I wish is that the shades were a little bit more cooler toned, but it still worked anyway. To start your contour, you always start at the top of the ear and just follow the natural structure of your cheekbone inward. Sucking in your cheeks also helps guide you to the proper placement, and also remember that the further inwards you go towards the corner of your mouth, the more extreme the contour will look. So if you want something a little more subtle, I would suggest just coming down halfway, maybe even like a quarter of the way. But for the purpose of the video, I exaggerated and made the contour a little bit more extreme. So if you noticed, I went up on the sides of my temple a little bit and then into the hairline and across the top of my forehead to make the forehead appear smaller. And then I brought it down to my jawline just to sculpt everything out a little bit more intensely. And I don't ever do this part in my usual contour routine, but I just wanted to give you guys the full effect of everything for the purpose of this video. Then to contour the nose, this is the part where you should probably take your time the most on. Nose contouring can be kind of tricky, and for the longest time I was applying the product down the side of my nose in one motion. And if you notice, I'm slowly going up and down little by little, but moving down the side of my nose at the same time. And I just found that by doing that, it makes it look a lot more realistic. And then I am taking this faux Artiste brush, and I'm taking the under eye concealer that I placed on the sides of my nose and just dragging that and blending it into my cheek. So it literally will look like the side of my nose blends right into my cheek, and that will give the illusion of your nose looking a lot slimmer. And I learned that trick from Brittany Bare Makeup. She is like the queen of the nose contour, so I thought that was a really great trick to know, and it works so well. Then I'm taking a Real Technique sponge and blending the concealer out in tapping motions. I do find that blending concealer works the best with a damp beauty sponge because it just really melts the product into your skin and prevents it from looking caked on. And please disregard the weird faces I make when blending. You know you do it too. Then I'm taking this small Morphe Duo Fiber brush and blending out the contour. The key to blending your cheek contour is to always blend up. The point is for your cheeks to look lifted, and if you blend anywhere but upwards, it will literally defeat the whole purpose of contouring. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that. Then to blend out the nose contour, you want to be careful not to blend too much because then you're going to be left with a brown, muddy mess and it'll look like the opposite of a contoured nose. So just take your time and just in small motions blend up and down very slowly, and just like I said, be sure not to blend too much because you'll end up making the entire contour disappear or it'll just look really messy and muddy. So bake, I'm using this RCMA No Color Powder, which is actually a very stark white powder, and it can be a little intense for some people, but I really like it. I am using my Real Technique sponge and setting down the sides of my nose just to further define the nose contour a little bit more. And then I'm just baking under the eye just to set everything. And then I'm also baking right below my contour on my cheekbones, just again to define everything a little bit more. And then after a few minutes of that settling in, I'm just swiping the powder away, and you will see what a difference it really makes and how much more defined everything really does look. Then I'm going to set the cream contour with powder contour, and I'm using my tried and true Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. And I feel like this step isn't super necessary. If you want more of a subtle look, then just set your whole face with a translucent powder and leave it at that. But you know I'm a little bit extra, and just to intensify everything, I'm just gonna go over everything with a powder contour. So yeah. Then to set the nose contour, I love using this brush because it's like a dense, fluffy brush, if that makes sense. I don't know, I feel like this type of brush makes it just look so much more realistic and just really blends everything really nicely. Then just taking a regular powder brush and just blending the rest of the contour out. Then I'm taking MAC Sincere for blush, and I got this recently. It's a really pretty coral peach shade, and I'm just applying this right onto the apples of my cheeks and right above where the contour is. And finally, to finish everything off, I'm using the brand new Anastasia Beverly Hills and Nicole Guerriero Glow Kit. Ugh, it is literally everything. I am obsessed, to say the least. So I am going in with the shade Glow Getter, which is a gold, and then mixing it with Kitty Cat, which is just a peachy pink, just to add a little bit of that into it. And I'm applying this with a fan brush on my cheeks, and then a little bit down the bridge of my nose and at the tip of my nose. And yeah, that is everything. I hope this video was easy for you guys to follow. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, I hope you learned a thing or two from it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video.